In 1998, October 6th of 1998 to be exact, a ska punk band by the name of Less Than Jake from Gainesville, Florida, released their third studio album called Hello, Rockview. Hello, Rockview was on the heels of their breakout record called Losing Streak with a single called Johnny Quest Things Were Sellouts that kind of broke through radio at the time. And radio at the time, rock radio, was playing a lot of the punk ska movement. Bands like Real Big Fish, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Blink-182 from the punk side, NoFX, etc., etc. And I was like a general fan of Less Than Jake. I wouldn't say the biggest fan, but Hello, Rockview came out and I didn't hear any songs from Hello, Rockview, but when I went to the record store, I saw their album art, and the album art intrigued me so much that I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna give this record a chance. Thank goodness I did that, because this has over time become one of my favorite records of all time. Every song from the first track, Last One Out of Liberty City, all the way to easily my favorite Less Than Jake song ever, Owl's War, is perfection on this record. There isn't a single bad song on this record, and it is a record that has actually stayed near and dear to me because lyrically it explains so much of my adolescence and even of my young adulthood. And even here today at 42 years old, I still connect with these lyrics in a way that I don't with other records. And so last night, Less Than Jake came to Santa Cruz, California, a club called The Catalyst, which I have some fond memories as well, and I'll tell you in a second why. But The Catalyst hosted Less Than Jake, where they were playing Hello, Rockview, that very record, front to back in its entirety, celebrating 25 plus years of it being out. Hello, Rockview, when you bought the CD, came with this booklet that had basically this whole comic inside of it. And this comic walked you through the story of Hello, Rockview, the record, through the lyrics. So the lines that the characters are saying are actually the lyrics to each song. And it's actually in no particular order, this comic book. The songs are kind of not in order from 1 to 14 in the book. It's kind of in order of like how the story is told. And it's really interesting how this is written because none of the choruses are repeated or anything like that. You have to kind of work your way through the lyrics to read it. Last night when I went to the merch booth, I saw that they were selling this very same comic book signed by all 5 members of the band. Had to pick it up. This was easily one of my favorite things about the record, was just the amount of effort that went into this. That made me appreciate the songs that much more. Last night I watched Less Than Jake absolutely rip it. They killed it. Went on stage at 9:30 and the show ended right before 11. Played all 14 songs from Hello, Rockview, and then also played a whole bunch of their hits. The reason why I'm making this video is an appreciation of a band like Less Than Jake. You know, music is an interesting thing, right? Where you can't predict when a song is going to hit you. When you can't predict when you're going to connect with something, a piece of music, a piece of art, when you first listen to it. You don't know. You hope it does. You hope that when you first listen to a song that it's going to be the best song that you've ever heard. You want that for every song that you listen to on any streaming service or if you have physical media still. I mean, for the love of God, there's a song on here called Richard Allen George, No, It's Just Cheese. And it's a song about the singer's friend who goes by the nickname of Cheese. That's the song. And it kills. It's such a fun song. But my favorite song is Owl's War, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to read you some of these lyrics here. This is how deep a ska punk band from Gainesville, Florida writes their music in 1998. Owl said goodbye to his mom and dad for the first time in his life. Tonight he left the house and walked to the waiting car outside, and somehow he thought they'd never understand that nothing lasts And he just knows that time is just spinning by and life is passing him by so fast. Think about that for a second. This is a character, this owl character in this song, is tired of the monotony of his life, is tired of the predictability of his life, is tired of having the same experience over and over again. He knows that time is just spinning by and life is passing him by so fast. And then it sings from his perspective where it says, and sometimes I think that I'm the only one that feels like going nowhere is like giving up, that doing the same thing over and over again, that being in the same place in your life year after year, day after day, month after month, is going nowhere. So, and sometimes I think that I'm the only one that feels like going nowhere is like giving up. That compromise, that living your life in a way that isn't cool for you is like give it up. Al said to me a few days ago that he just thought for the first time in his life, he feels like the last 10 years were only a waste of time and that it was only a compromise of what he always felt inside. His declaration of independence said to me under the orange street lights. He was the one who always did the right thing. He was the one that listened to everything that they said. This is my favorite part of the song. I'm getting goosebumps. But today, he's never going back. Today, Al decides that he's not going to take it anymore. Whew. When I tell you these lyrics speak to me, even still today at 42 years old, they spoke to me in 1998. And they spoke to me throughout my adolescence, my young adulthood. And this video is just to say that I appreciate a band like Less Than Jake for making this record. And I appreciate a band like Less Than Jake that doesn't turn their nose on something that they created 25 years ago. I appreciate everyone on this record who worked on this, from all the band members. The band ripped last night. They absolutely killed it. Thank you, Less Than Jake, for the amazing experience. Thank you for making easily one of my favorite records of all time. But nostalgia is a crazy thing, man. I just had the most amazing time being 12 years old again, being 14 years old again. You know, I appreciate that these bands are putting two and two together and they're realizing that the generation that grew up listening to their music is a generation now that wants to relive their adolescence and wants to relive their childhood. Go out and enjoy a night out. Take a break from being a parent, being a responsible adult, and just go to a rock show and sing at the top of their lungs with thousands of other people. I told you I was going to tell you why the Catalyst means a lot to me. I have performed at the Catalyst before. Once and only once, and I performed with a couple friends of mine in a band called the Stereophones. And the Stereophones had a drummer by the name of Eyal, a dear friend of mine who migrated to the United States and had dreams and aspirations of moving to California because that's where the Foo Fighters were from, where his favorite drummer and artist Dave Grohl resides. And Eyal was a guy who played music with his entire soul. He was a phenomenal drummer who had groove, he had timing, his fills were impeccable, and I had the honor of playing music with him many, many times, not only in the Stereophones, but in a band that I started called Racket City. He and I formed the band along with two other people and got to play a handful of shows and played a bunch of songs that I had written by myself that had never been performed by a band before. And Eyal's drumming brought them all to life. And with the Stereophones, we actually got to play a show opening up for Smash Mouth. It was a memory that I'll never forget. Smash Mouth actually ended up not performing that night because one of the members, I guess, got sick and had to go home, even though we saw them at soundcheck. But my dear friend Eyal, not too long afterwards, got diagnosed with cancer and passed away a month ago. Going to the Catalyst last night was bittersweet because I got to see this band play this record that I adore so much. It also reminded me of my friend. It reminded me of the last time I was at that venue and the last time and the only time I went up on that stage to perform in front of a crowd was with my friend who's no longer here. But that's the beauty of music, right? It brings all of us together, whether you are on this side or on that side. And no matter your upbringing, no matter your viewpoints in life, for an hour and a half, we can be in a room together and sing the living shit out of Less Than Jake songs together and have a great time and be kind to one another and pick up one another when we fall down on the floor from moshing or in this case skanking.
Santa Cruz, thank you so much! Catch you later, Bill and Ted. Thanks, everybody!
That's my video. My name is Amir, like the kind you look into. I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.